Well, here we go. We have a van build that we are starting today. Today's July 1st. We've got 6 weeks until we get this done. We are going to Newfoundland and we need this van to be at least functional by the time we leave. We have lots of plans for it. Thank you for joining us on our journey here trying to do this van build. We have this Ford Transit or Ford Transit 1V high top. It's the short version, so it's not an extra long version of the van. And so we have limited space. That's the way we wanted it. We wanted it to be small, compact, good on gas, and it certainly has been. But we have our very first challenge. We checked out this morning or yesterday morning. We took a look at the van, the cargo area of the van. We had already offloaded everything, as you know from our last video. Other than a few things. Anyways, we found 2 spots where water is coming in to the cargo area, and that's near the back door. So we need to figure that out. So we're going to take a hose to the van. I guess the water is coming down this way to each of the corners, which leads me to believe it has something to do with the doors. We found this very small little puddle. You can see the white area there from the puddle there as well. So we have to figure this out.
But first, let's take a closer look at the ceiling and walls.
Okay, first things first, we've got to take the black panels off. Here we go, those wall panels. I was measuring last night where the bed's going to go, the counters, that sort of thing. There we go. And so we're numbering them and...
Nice and clean, no rust, no nothing.
Yep. There we go.
This one's marked.
Yeah.
Go to the,
Well, it doesn't look too bad at all. They're lightweight. Just for some added entertainment, we have a red squirrel that is enjoying our car, making it a nest or something. And he is really, or she, is really being difficult. And typically chipmunks and squirrels love air filters. So we're gonna start the car and try to get this thing out, and we're gonna be buying a trap the next time we're at Canadian Tire, because we need to catch this little fella. We'll relocate it, don't worry. See if we can find this little guy. Where are you? No, I don't see him scurrying anywhere. Here's the car. Okay, you okay moving the car with the hood up like that? Just going back and forth hoping to scare him out of there. But we can hear him knocking and chewing away at something in there. Nature, you've got to love it. If we don't deal with this while we're doing this, it's always going to be on our mind and just a distraction, and we can't focus on that. So let's take a few minutes to try to deal with this.
Okay, so I guess we got a clean slate now. Took off all the panels, so you can see it's right back to the bare bones, to the metal of the van. So now we're going to do a water test. Yesterday when we came in just to check out and start taking out some of the panels, we noticed a couple of little puddles on the ground, not very big, on the back doors and over here on the side. So we've basically gutted it. We're going to run the hose on it now and see if we see where it's coming in, or if it was just some kind of freaky thing, because we had some very heavy rain yesterday.
Yeah, wind-driven, stormy weather we had.
And we even drove in that kind of stuff last week, and we didn't see any water inside or rain inside. So like I said, maybe a freaky thing. It looks very dry inside, so yeah, I have no idea.
Okay, so I'm going to put myself inside in this heat, and I'm going to put myself inside while Frank gives this thing a good hose and see if I could figure out where it's coming in from. Oh, it's so hot. There we go. It's a little bit better. Yeah, it's really hot. But I'm going to close these doors and let's see if we can figure this out. Well, guys, I have no idea. We've just been running this water for about a half hour with high pressure coming through, and I do not see any water coming in. So the only thing I can think of is when we were moving things in and out during, our transport here and offloading, it was raining a little bit. So maybe when the doors were opened or we moved something in here, we did have some water containers in here. Maybe it dripped from the water containers that we had, and it has nothing to do with the cargo area at all. Anyways, we cannot find it. We've tried everything. So let's keep our fingers crossed that it's not a problem, because once we have finished walls, and that's why we're going to recycle these panels, because they're easy enough to pull out. But the ceiling, we are doing a wood slatted ceiling, like a shiplap type ceiling in wood. And once that's up, if I have to get into that, we have to tear down the whole ceiling again. So that's not good. So let's hope it's not going to be a problem, and we'll keep an eye on it as we go along. So funny. It's like today's video is all about demolition, it seems. But our goal today is also to put the max fan on the ceiling and also put in the shore power plug that we need to put in. So that is our main goal. But of course, you have to take everything out to get and see those places. We have to clean the walls, because when we put the Thinsulate, the 3M Thinsulate insulation, we have to use spray glue. The area needs to be clean. If it's dusty, nothing will get glued. So Frank is going to be taking all of these, what are they called? Tie-down clips? Tie-downs. We're going to take, we've got a whole bunch of them. They're all over the place. You can see there. See that the front end, I guess this is called the cab of the van, it has this shelf, and a lot of people will add another shelf along here for storage. But I'm sorry, Frank has already hit his head like 3 or 4 times just on this low one. I can't imagine having another one out here. And we are not blocking this off at all. We want it opened. Our intention here is to use the driver and passenger seats as our seating for when we're eating or relaxing, that sort of thing. And so we will be putting in some swivels on there, but we will not do them this time around. We'll probably do them after Newfoundland or in the new year, because they are like almost $400 each and complicated to install. I know it's easier to do it now, but so these vans have these corners that are like made out of a foam. They're really ugly. So we're going to attempt to cover them in a stretch carpeting. So that we've been looking it up, and we've gotten a lot of tips on how to do that on YouTube University, if you know what I mean. So hopefully we'll be able to cover that up and soften that up a little bit, that look. The previous owners had curtains here, you can see. So as you know, the previous owners of this van used it as a camper van as well, but they didn't deck it out. They just kept it very, very simple for their summer vacations. Yeah, and we're going to try to figure out what to do with those lights.
Oh, look, drip.
Aha! Where is it coming from? We found a drip. We have to feel around with our hands to see if we can feel anything wet. Otherwise, we're going to have to put some sort of patch sealant. They have this leveling sealant that you can use on the tops, which is what we're going to be using anyway for the Max fan. So if we know where this is coming from, it could be coming. Yeah, right here. There is a plug. These look like tie downs for racks. There it is, right there. Can you see it? Oh, right there. There's a little bit of water coming out of that, and that's where you tie down racks. If you put racks up above, and look at that. we have the same holes, same style holes here as well as there. Problem solved. We're gonna have to seal those up. So when we're on the roof and doing the max fan, we'll have that self-leveling.
Yeah, so we think we found where the water's coming in. So yeah, so we're halfway there. Now I gotta figure out where the red squirrel's going into the car.
That's really on Frank's mind. Guys, when we take a look at this rug that's on here right now, which is insulated, which is how it came from the buyer. Insulation going on here. There we go. We're going to roll it out. We're going to use this as a template for our floor. It is bang on, but I think that's pretty good. Hey, hon? Uh-huh. That's not bad at all. Have some sweeping to do, and we have to wipe things down. This is our only chance to do it. Okay guys, what you don't know behind the scenes is that Frank and I have been talking about this shore power and the positioning under the bed, that sort of thing, all of that going on. The shore power here is taking us a long time to figure this out, that we have to think of all the scenarios. So okay, so there's the hole. Do you see that? Our shore power plug is right there. And then we have a dual right there. And then one big thing is not to have little shards of metal go into the body of the van at all. So I've put this little catch-all here with some tape. Frank now is going to do a 2-inch hole here from the other side. So Frank's putting some tape over just in case the drill slips. We don't scratch the paint. This is a scary moment. Shards with this. Frank's gonna take the tape out so we don't get this all gooed up. Okay, we went and got some rust paint. It's a gray color. Hopefully it won't be too bad. It shouldn't be anything that we have to see. It's just so that it doesn't rust. A good shake. All right, let's do this. We're gonna go have some lunch, and that paint needs to dry. See you in a bit. Poor Molly. She's been so patient. Have you been patient with us? The disaster area of boxes. Poor thing. Well, we've been fussing over Molly. Because she hasn't eaten very well in the last few days. I think it's just from the drive. She's tired. We also added a new type of food, which we included a different type. We're just giving her little bits at a time, and it's salmon in the food, and I don't think she likes the salmon. Anyway, so
Her tummy was upset.
her tummy's been upset.
Waking up at 3 o'clock in the morning because she has to go out.
Yeah, she's been whimpering like, let me out. Anyway, she's been really good that way. So now we have there a 2-inch hole piece of wood. Frank's gonna drill some pilot holes because we have some screws to put that in. Frank's going to do it from the other side as well. So now Frank's going to screw that in there. Screw the little... Are you in? Yep. And I'm holding this. Yep. So this is what happens. So we have our shore power like that, and then what we'll do is we'll put a board through here nice and neat, and then we'll have a surge protector as well on here. That job done.
Okay, so it is about 3:30 in the afternoon, 3:15. What we've accomplished so far today, we've yanked out all the flooring, the rest of the panels. We've cut the hole in the side for the shore power. It's been installed. Now we're going to attempt to put the insulation down on the floor. So that's the next step with the insulation, and put the plywood and get our flooring done. And then try and do the max fan. We'll see how far we get today. But it's getting not late, but we'll see what we accomplish for the first day.
One more thing, we're just going to put some of this wire protective stuff, because these are metal panels. We don't want anything sharp with the movement of the van rubbing back and forth. We don't want anything sharp to cut into. There. Perfect. Here we go. So this is what we're doing. We're using the existing rug that was the original rug, and Frank is doing with a marker, outlining it, and we're using it as a template. And then we can cut it out and then position the pieces. And that's how we're doing the insulation, the hardboard. Let's give you an idea of what type of insulation we have here. Does it say? Okay guys, I think it's been a pretty good day. Let me turn the camera around, show you what we've done so far this afternoon. So Frank's trying to get that step back into position, and we've put the insulation down and then used the tuck tape, which is super strong tape. And there we go. Here we go. Here's another angle. So we've got 1-inch insulation, foam insulation on the bottom, and now we're going to put our 5/8 plywood on top. All right, guys, that's it for today. We'll see you in the morning.
Just going to put this last piece in, secure the back end here, and like Fern says, that's it. It's about 6 and change. Been a long day. Time for a nice cool drink and to relax.
Yeah.
We'll see you in the morning.
See you in the morning. Good morning, friends. Cheers. We are feeling pretty good. Both Frank and I. Frank's making his breakfast. Molly is running around here. You want to say hello, Molly? Say hello. Good morning. Anyway, we are we're feeling great. So our bodies are not killing us from yesterday. Now, you know, yesterday we put the insulation in the shore power in, and we took all the old walls off of the van. Now today our task is to put the plywood on top of the insulation and attempt to try to do that max fan. So wish us luck. It's going to be a busy day. Cheers, everybody.
Watch the dog.
Lee? What you doing? What are you doing? Hi. Oh, you're a good girl.
Morning. Got my breakfast of champions.
What are you having?
Eggs, egg, a tomato and cheese sandwich. And you can see I'm dressed my construction attire. So, while having breakfast every morning, we like to listen to our favorite, well, one of our favorite radio stations back in Ottawa, CFRA 580, which is basically talk radio news. So you always know what's going on back at home.
Yeah, catching up on current events.
Yes,
Molly's
I see.
hungry.
You're
She's
hungry.
already eaten her breakfast, so she's feeling so much better.
Those of you who are wondering about Molly and how she's feeling, yesterday I mentioned that she wasn't feeling too well. She is feeling much, much better today. She was just kind of down in the dumps and her tummy was upset. We don't know if it was from the travel, going from Ottawa here back just in such a short time. It probably was just too much for her system, or she ate something she shouldn't have. But she's
She had the
feeling...
runs big time.
Yeah, Frank was worried about her. She, he likes to fuss over her, just like he likes to fuss over me.
You're probably wondering why I'm wearing this. It is not freezing cold, but in the morning, most of Canada is like this. It's just a little chilly in the morning. And I love the feeling of the way it is. It's just great. And this is not super heavy. It's just super fluffy. And I love it. It's so comfortable. So not to worry. I'm sure this will be off within the hour. But here we go. We've got lots to do today. Okay, let me just give you an idea of what we're doing here today with the plywood. We're going to attempt to put, because we're going to have like a center hall. So this is where our traffic is going to be. We're going to have a solid bed here in the back. And we have our side entrance. So I would like to see one piece of plywood, which is 4x8, taking up that whole area, so that where there is a seam, it will be under the cabinet or under the bed. That is my goal, so that when we lay out our vinyl flooring, we don't have anything rubbing into the corners and tearing it over time. One piece of plywood that's going to go from the front passenger side all the way across down here, and then all the seams will be underneath the cabinets or under the bed. That is the idea.
Not to get too far ahead of ourselves, if we get that max fan in today and the floor in today, then our next step will be to add the insulation on the walls and on the ceiling. Then after we do that, we're going to do the wiring. And we're going with a very simple way of wiring. We're going to use our Blue Eddy, and we're going to have plugs, which will have switches as well in periodic places. It's a system that we think is much easier for us because we don't know a whole lot about wiring and electrical, and it's well beyond our capabilities. It's like a mental block for us. So what we understand is how to plug things, how to put it on, a switch, and we're going to keep it really safe that way. Frank and I, neither one of us are power hogs. What do we have? Our cell phones, our laptop to charge, the refrigerator, which we have to get, needs power, obviously. And our refrigerator is not a small one. It's still a bar fridge, but it has a separate freezer area. So it will be a little bit of a hog. We've ordered a diesel heater in case we're traveling in the winter, or have colder mornings or colder evenings, depending on where we are in the mountains and so forth. So we're getting a diesel heater, and again, we're going to create that as a plug-in system with a switch so we can turn it off and on. So that will be challenging. That is it's en route to us. So we got an all-in-one, and we should be able to mount that inside. It might be a little tricky to get it through the wall so it can be vented properly, or through the floor so it can be vented properly, but we'll tackle that when the time comes. We're up for the challenge. I think this is where we're going to have our template. Now we're keeping this really close to this. I'm pointing it with my foot. See the dirt line along there? That's where our cut line is going to be. Hopefully we get this right, because we only have a chance to do this once. So the idea is that we have one solid piece of plywood under there in the foot traffic area. And then under cabinets, we can fill it in with smaller pieces. That is the idea.
Well, here we are, another day, and this video has reached its conclusion.
Yeah, we're going to conclude that here today. It's taken us a little longer with the Max fan than we had anticipated. It's actually taken 3 days between drying, cutting the holes, the rain, and all this kind of stuff.
And we wanted to include a video with the whole installation of the Max fan. As well, we have put in the 3M Thinsulate insulation on the walls, and we want to show you that as well. So check back with us next week.
So I hope you enjoy this one, but check next week for the final conclusion on this section of it.
Yep, and don't forget to subscribe if you've enjoyed this video and you want to see more of this. A thumbs up would be good. Comment. Let me know if you have any questions.
Oh, and a name for the van. We're still looking at that.
Yeah, we've got a really good one. Somebody suggested Van Gogh. What do you think? We'll see you next week.